Make sure everything's unmuted this time around.
Check, check. Master Miss microphone check.
Hey.
You good?
All right. So I got everything fired up. It's been a month since our last game. Who remembers where things left off?
We left off at Gillard's apartment.
Ah, yes. Best believe I know exactly where we are. Rubbed hands together. I'm with this. Let's go.
So, do you remember what you were doing at Gillard's apartment? So I actually had to go back and watch the VOD to remember where some of the things left off.
When last we broke, we had all assembled around, and those of us who had corporeal forms were enjoying a fine glass of wine, courtesy of Gillard. My measure had been taken for a suit. A very poor courier for the tailor's shop had been given a dreadful spook to refill Mike's energy.
Bonus points. Does everyone remember the image that the guy who showed up, the tailor's assistant, saw that spooked him? No one?
Was it Mike's face appearing through mine?
Yes, but what was Mike wearing? The
Had you
suit
put
from
on,
Drop
like, this-
Dead Fred.
Yes.
The wine tasting and tuxedo.
Yes.
So,
Ooh, lovely, great.
Maybe it's the handwriting where it's such a mess.
your handwriting mess? I would have never guessed that.
Dude, like literally scroll.
Well,
There's
that's
two
further.
ways to take notes: copiously or well. I've never met a person who does both.
Yeah, I don't know. It's this session. I don't know what it is about this session. Like my notes here are just like scrawled with the wrong hand. Like, oh. And
You're taking notes
my
with your
other
left
notes
hand.
are like, no, yeah, but that's my correct hand though. That's the thing.
That explains so much.
So, so these notes are a mess, but every other session, like all my other characters, I have my little page protectors with like notes for each.
Okay. So, where things left off is in the apartment with
Right now, pages and pages of stuff.
in the apartment for Gillard was
It's just
I'm trying to remember everyone's name. It's been a month. We know Freddy. So we got Gillard, Morgana, Terry, and do you guys remember who Mike's? You don't know Mike is there. Terry knows Mike is there. Do you guys remember who your guest was?
Gucci Rasputin.
Our dear friend Gucci Rasputin.
I was
First name
actually
John, I want to say. Last name I have forgotten.
Garfinkel.
Garfinkel. How could I forget Garfinkel?
I was actually gonna advertise tonight to come check out everyone interacting with Gucci Rasputin, but I don't think my Russian is good enough to just, or my Russian accent. I can be like duh. That's about it. So unless you guys want to do RP with some guy going duh the entire night, I decided to skip out on Gucci Rasputin.
hey,
That's fine.
just
That's
Russian
fine.
root, That's all that
He's
is.
Gucci Rasputin in spirit.
Yeah. So Gucci Rasputin, to those who are new to our campaign, he is kind of a minor practitioner. He's an alchemist who wears like the hipster designer clothing, has a very nice like mid-chest beard that's very well groomed, hair pulled back into a man bun. But while it's designer, he's also wearing like designer flannel. So that is our Gucci Rasputin.
A man of remarkable taste.
Yes. who actually helped save the party last campaign.
Indeed, we are all indebted to Gucci Rasputin.
So Gucci Rasputin is, he's just sitting in Jalard's living room while you guys are running around getting your measurements done. What was Morgana doing during most of this time? I know Jalard was making the arrangements, Terry was getting measured. What was Morgana up to?
Morgana was so frazzled that she was just throwing back a glass of wine and just trying to unwind, basically. She's too old for this shit. She is 46, man.
That's
Ouch.
that's like
Ouch.
almost on death's door.
I feel attacked.
Now, in
In
fairness,
her own words.
how much would you like your home and place of business to be invaded by emotionless, besuited, golem-esque men and driven out from it in the company of a street preacher, an alchemist, and a ghost?
I guess we'll never know.
In fairness, I'm excellent company, but the rest of you, I mean.
Yes, but you've met Terry.
So
So
we're gonna say John is sitting in the I don't know, were they in the front room, the living room, drinking the wine, or is that like a no for Jalard's?
You better not have your shoes on.
I'm rich, but I'm not stuffy.
I recall us having been led to the couch.
Okay.
Yes, there are coasters if you want it, but the coffee table is a coaster, so it's fine.
So are these couches more like, are these the couches where you go into a rich person's house where they're more about style than they are about function?
These are hotel couches. This is not my
Okay.
house. I would never bring them to my house. This
Okay.
is a hotel suite in a hotel that I own.
So it's not like John has to spend 15 minutes in figuring out how to sit in this couch. Okay. So he's sitting there, he's just nursing this glass of wine, just kind of staring into space, occasionally looking over at Terry and Mike, and just kind of quick eye glances.
Now that the whole Taylor episode has quietened it down a little bit, and Terry's made his way deep into this glass of wine, the first he's had in somewhat substantial length of time, his attention does turn over to John. He says, John, I think I owe you.
John makes me a little nervous.
Sorry, I was adjusting volume.
Terry.
Uh,
John kind of makes me a little nervous, Terry.
John was
I
kind of
understand, Mike.
he was kind of staring out into space, looking or into his glass of wine. He kind of glances up, and I'm sorry. What was that?
I said, I think I owe you. I don't believe I would have gotten past two of those guys.
I'll be honest. I didn't think we were gonna make it through that. This is pretty dire.
Terry,
I was a bit surprised.
Terry.
Yes,
I wasn't
Mike.
all too confident about our odds either.
Yeah, that's
I could have died, Terry.
That is Terry laughing and me laughing.
Wow.
Mike finally got him. He's a little drunk, so that it landed.
I'll be honest. I don't know who they're with, but there's been a lot of movement in kind of the rumored supernatural underground. A lot of people within the Paranet around New Orleans have kind of been talking about just things that usually go creak in the night moving more into the open.
Ask him what the Paranet is, Terry.
That's a really good question, Mike. I'll have to get around to that, but I got it. There's something more important first. Now, Terry is visibly he's a little tipsy. He doesn't get to drink very often, and he's rail thin anyways, so it's not like his tolerance is going to be very high. So you can imagine a street preacher who's a little drunk now starting to get onto a topic. It's like a vast machine kind of settling into place. He's sitting down, he says, John, I try to pay my debts, and this is a big one. Normally I wouldn't do this, but I'm gonna make you a deal. I gotta make a little speech. I gotta give you the spiel, because I need to try to convince you of something. It's very important.
I'll be honest, I don't know how much time we have.
I've got all the time in the world.
As long as they don't bust down that door over there, and they have to come up a few stairs to do it.
Honestly, no telling, but I guess...
Trust me.
Okay.
After I've done my spiel, the next bit is going to be real important to you.
He's probably going to save your soul, John. You might want to listen.
I'm going to try, Mike. Whenever Terry speaks to Mike, Mike is like off to his left, and he turns away, so it's clear to everybody that he's speaking to Mike rather than to them.
Mike's enjoying this new notoriety he's receiving.
This thing that you're pursuing, John, you must abandon this goal.
What do you know about what we're pursuing?
I know enough. Eternal life in your flesh, John, is not a desirable thing. This is the most dreadful curse you can bestow on a person.
How is it a curse if they're willing? If they want it?
Well,
People want a lot of things that are bad for them, John.
Could you
They're
imagine?
flawed creatures of meat.
That's how you
But
get
that's-
herpes, John.
But that's the glory of it. That if you could move one's self between bodies, no decay, no side effects, just eternal life to those who are willing. Where would the earth be right now? Where would the world be if Einstein was still around? Could you imagine culture if Mozart was still able to perform?
If they had stayed here, John, they would all have long gone mad.
They'd be like
we were
me.
not meant to be here forever, trapped in these flawed vessels. We are not made to be flesh forever. If we had stayed around for hundreds of years, culture would have gone nowhere. The sciences would have gone nowhere, because one person can have only so much life in them before they turn into a stone.
I think you sell the human soul short and its ability to adapt and grow and mature.
I have a deep love for the human soul, but the human soul is trapped in this, and he taps his chest.
Exactly. Imagine if you were able to break those anchors that bind you to this body of flesh and freely move between bodies. I get a sense that you might know a little something about that.
Terry, did you just say you loved me?
Mike, I've known you a very long time. You're well aware of my appreciation for you.
Yeah, but love. Are we ready for this level, this next step in our relationship?
Terry continues to focus in on John. He's really warming up to the thing now. Says, John, we already break the bounds. We live and then we die, and that beautiful part of us goes on to a place that is not quite so lumpen clay and twisted metal as this.
Wait a minute. I need you to get focus on this for a second.
I look over.
Oh, really? Tell me more about this lovely place we go on to.
To linger here is not better for us, freed of your flesh or not. I have seen this, John. I have seen it time and again. There is more to go to. And going from one body to another is not freeing yourself. All bodies are flawed. You can go to a younger one, but there's no escape from pain.
Right, but
Looking at you, looking at him, looking at you, looking at him. I don't know
Yeah.
if you're right, don't know if you're right, but
Yeah, at this point, Morgana is just intrigued by these two characters that are sitting before her. And as she is watching John and Terry converse, I would like to open up my third eye.
Oh boy.
Danger, danger. The klaxons are going off.
so you're opening the third eye, and
yeah. I don't know. This is weird.
I just want to see what's up with John, Terry, and this Mike person that he keeps going on about.
so who do you look at first?
I first look at Terry.
So, Terry,
Can I get it?
Yeah, describe what you view your true self to be.
Oh man, I'm so excited. I prepared it well in advance.
It's
As you
almost
open
like
your
you two
third eye,
staged this.
I staged my explanation and then I told her that it existed and she said, "Oh, I got to see that."
Okay.
I also really did want to open my third eye. I thought it'd be appropriate for the moment.
So, as you open your third eye and you get a notion of what Terry really is beneath the flesh, the first thing you see is the light, and the second thing you see is the spike. The light is racing all over Terry, and as you stare at it for a moment longer, you realize it's words. Not unrecognizable words to you. You see them, you recognize them, they're the shapes of every language. They're chasing each other over his flesh, and they're trying desperately to pull away from it as the light comes through them from the other side, some distant and cold place. The effect is somewhat disconcerting. It's as if Terry has a certain gravity that's binding them to him. The words and the light is strongest around the spike, which is black iron and juts out from his side. A chain leads away from the spike, and at the other end of it is a guy you didn't notice before.
Hugh, Mike, what do you look like?
Are we looking at Mike or are we looking at Mike's true self?
In this case, it would be more of Mike, because Mike's kind of his true self right now.
In that case, you see a young guy in his early 20s with long black hair, Vietnamese features. He's very doughy around the middle, very dumpy, wearing like an Iron Maiden t-shirt and an old raggedy trench coat, hovering just a couple feet off the ground with bare feet and a mischievous glint in his eye and a slightly crooked smile. He's actually staring right at you.
I say, well, hi, Mike. I finally see you.
Oh. Well, does this mean... Wait. Are we dating? I think Terry.
Terry looks over at Morgana. What?
Terry.
I think the age gap might be a little much, and the lack of a body might be a little much too.
How long
What
it's
about
been since a
John,
girl
though?
noticed me? Girls
What
never
about
notice
John?
me.
What about Gucci Rasputin?
Yeah, so I look over to John now. What do I see about him?
You look over at John and you notice the air actually swirls around John differently than anything you've seen before. It has a different kind of shimmer to it. The colors kind of change as the air blows around him, and it's just kind of swirling. But one thing you notice in particular is John's, when you kind of look at his head, he's kind of got these blinders on, what appear to be blinders, kind of as if he can only see a very tunneled view of the world.
Organa kind of clicks her teeth like, and then turns away and then shuts her third eye.
It must be noted that Terry being who he is, the view of Terry in his kind of archetypal fundamental form is not pleasant exactly. It would be like, as much as people have been affected by my trouble up to now, it would probably be more significant than that. So you may wish to do things.
I'm just gonna
In-
sit here.
What do you mean?
My wine. She didn't look at me at
I
all,
don't
that's
know
great.
how this would affect Morgana exactly, but it's already been off-putting to people who've seen Terry without the sort of magical assistance of the third eye. It is a distinctly alien vision. And if you look beyond the words racing over him, his face is actually perfectly pleasant. He's a little drawn, but his smile has nothing disturbing in it seen this way. But the light from these words is affecting probably to any creature that walks the earth.
What kind of words are these that are racing over him?
Like I said, they are seemingly disconnected words in every language. You spot like pan go past, and you don't know if it's French for bread, you don't know if it's English for a cooking implement. You see Genesis off in one spot. Much of it is indecipherable unless you have a real skill for languages.
Yeah, I would say because of Morgana's background, she's not really as impacted by that as, say,
A normal human might be.
right.
Yeah, because glowing runes, not exactly all that uncommon.
It's not
Right.
simply glowing, because remember, my goal was for Terry to be just like, he would make a Denarian a little squeamish. They wouldn't be afraid of him, but he would be off-putting to literally anyone.
Right. Yeah, I'm thinking of it from just her, and not that, because Morgana's not from the Never Never, right? But she's aware of her familial background.
Yes.
So I'd say she's got some exposure to kind of the bizarre from the Never Never, which is why, like, she's not completely off put by it, but it's.
I mean, people from the Never Never will just like come through her shop sometimes, so it's like, and she's very familiar with the ways too. So, yeah.
She didn't get freaked out by me being there, so I'm all automatically Mike has respect.
Many are frightened.
So right now, John actually looks over at Morgana and says, "You can see that?"
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Can now.
Okay.
I saw briefly, but not presently.
So it's
I keep cutting out.
You're very
You there?
quiet as well.
Okay. Is this better?
Yeah.
Slightly.
So Morgana doesn't look at me at all, right?
No, she just looks at Terry and John because they're these two rather interesting figures who have come across her shop. They're having a philosophical discussion. Like, as far as Morgana is concerned, you're just like an average Joe schmo. But like these
Good,
two have
good.
like some sort of like magical nature to them.
Yes, sweetie, you keep your eyes open there.
Don't worry. Mike hasn't forgotten his new rich best friend.
Oh, of course. But on the original track, Terry's been delivering this argument to John, and I would actually like to do something mechanically.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
I would like to roll to create an aspect on John.
Okay. Do you want to try and roll to create an aspect on Morgana for viewing on you too?
Oh, that's interesting too. Maybe, but it'd be a different roll because the thing I'm trying to do is use my my flair and my bonus that I get for when I'm preaching my gospel to people to create an aspect of doubt on John.
Okay. Let me pull up my sheet real quick. You can go ahead and roll. I honestly should have been more prepared with having the difficulty cheat sheet up. Thank goodness for my pins.
Alright, so my net should be a 4. I rolled a 2 and I get a +2.
Okay. I'd actually say you succeed.
Doesn't it already counts it if you hover over that 2 you just rolled. Boo.
Ah, that is my default flair modifier. I have a stunt for specifically when I am preaching articles of my faith, which the weakness and fallibility of the flesh is very definitely an article of my faith.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'd say you just succeed with kind of placing a nugget of doubt in John's mind.
Beautiful.
Let me go ahead and mark that on his sheet. I'm gonna note that down because John wasn't supposed to be this big of a character, but I'm liking him.
He's fun. He's like, I like him personally, but he is my kind of like, he's the other side of the dialectic here. He is the opposite philosophy.
Mike doesn't trust him. I know he can see me, but he's not acknowledging it. I don't trust him.
All right, so I made a note that you've created an aspect of doubt.
And then I don't know what I would roll to determine the effect of viewing me on Morgana.
Depends. I would probably say that was a flare too.
I'll give that a roll.
Yeah. This won't have your +2 modifier though, because you're not trying to preach.
Yeah.
But
it's still not bad.
What do I need to roll to contest?
You don't need to roll anything. It doesn't go through.
Oh, okay.
It was because of your background. I was set that as being a having to have a great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right.
Something deeply and truly spooky.
Right. So it doesn't create an aspect, but you do kind of feel these kind of bizarre, spiritual, off-putting, like, thrumming coming from Terry when your eye was open.
Yeah, like something that I wouldn't have experienced like in the Never Never. Like, even though I'm used to seeing the weird, that was something a little weird. I'm just like something that I haven't seen before. I'm just like,
That is all I desired. But having done this, Terry He might see the effect he's had on John. He might not. I'm not certain. But he said his piece, and at this point he reaches into his shirt pocket and he says, "Now, I said what I wanted to. I don't know if I convinced you or not. All I know is I owe you.
Well,
I kept this from the authorities." And he pushes up from his hand, revealing the mercury-filled key that he found on the possessions of the man who was killed over that box.
and his eyes just light up. He's... Oh... Thank you. Thank you so much. This helps our just research from falling in the wrong hands.
Research, he says.
I know how important this is to you, and even though I think it's not a good thing for people to have, I'm going to help you. I'm going to hang on to this, but I will aid you in your search here. And when the time comes that you've got that box back in your possession, either I'll have convinced you, you'll have convinced me, or if we're still at odds over it, you'll know right where I am. We'll settle it like gentlemen. Queensberry rules.
John pulls out a pocket square from the pocket of his flannel, and it just happens to be a contrasting color flannel handkerchief. And he grabs the key, he wraps the key up in the handkerchief, and kind of tucks it away in his pocket. And he says, "Thank you. I have to go now. I
should stop you before we have to retcon too hard. It was not my intent to give him the key.
And he did say he was going to hold on to it.
I said, I'm going to hold on to this, but I'm going to aid you in your quest."
John did not pick up on that. John was too overeager, and he just... So you pull back as he was reaching for it. All right. All right.
But I have just sworn to assist him as recompense for saving my life, and although he didn't really understand at the time Mike's existence.
I appreciate it. I have to report this back to my chain of command. When you have a moment, please come visit us. And he pulls out kind of this business card from the back of his pocket. And on the back of the business card, he writes down the name Amelia Mills.
All right.
And if you flip over the business card, it actually is a business card for a restaurant in the area.
Oh.
And it's a business. It's a real flashy business card. Not quite as flashy as Gillard's musical business card, but it's using a lot of like neon colors, and in a smoke type font it says Potions Lounge.
So I've been quietly watching this little debacle happen. And like I said, Mike doesn't trust this guy entirely. And I feel like he knows where I am and can see and hear me just fine, but chooses not to acknowledge me. So at this point, I'm going to get right in his face, and I'm going to use that reverse reverb delay echo ghost voice and draw myself up as much as I can. And I'm just going to whisper directly into his face, "If you screw us, I'll grant your greatest wish." And then I'm just going to fade out.
So John, like as you go up to him, John kind of jumps back, kind of jerks back, and he sees your mouth moving, and he kind of gives you like this furrowed brow, like he's not quite sure what's going on. He's kind of confused by what he sees at the moment, and then you disappear, and he kind of looks back. "I'm sorry, give me one."
That's fine. And then Terry says, Mike. No. We owe this man. It's all right. He probably didn't even hear you. In fact, you guys, like, he's in a better mood now. He's got the wine in him. He's finished the kind of serious business discussion. So you guys want to meet Mike?
Yeah, let me drive.
I'm on a phone call in a separate room. I'm not watching any of this.
And then
from behind a door. Safa.
Terry gestures to Mike. He's like, come meet the people.
Boom. I take possession of Terry. Kind of. As I was saying, John, and please don't take this the wrong way. If you screw us, as we try to help you, I will grant your greatest wish. Just so we're clear.
Didn't John leave already?
No, John was like trying to.
He's trying to.
But like as he was like getting up from the chair, that's when like Mike shot into his face. And then Mike, like the way I pictured is Mike gets into his face and then like instantly just Terry starts talking to the rest of the group as like John's starting to head towards the door. He gets around to the back of the couch, is heading towards the elevator that goes down, and all of a sudden Mike sucks into Terry and threatens John.
I imagine that whenever this happens, that it's like you can hear Terry's voice and you can hear Mike's voice like kind of overlaid onto Terry. Just like two voices sort of on top of each other.
Well, plus, like, Terry has that very well thought out evangelical manner of speaking, whereas Mike speaks like a 20-year-old who grew up on cartoons.
There's a very different intonation, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Plus, he kind of looks over at Morgana and like winks a couple times.
So when he actually he stops when he hears the voice change, and he turns back around and he kind of slowly walks back up to Terry/Mike. We got to come up with like one of those like bromance names.
Mary.
Double entendre right there.
It's not as catchy as Brangelina, but we can go with that.
I mean, they are married to each other in several respects.
Yeah, that's actually
it's either Mary or Tyke.
It's true.
Yeah, that first one. Not that I have an opinion, because I'm not in there.
So he walks up to Mary and just slowly, just kind of awestruck. And he's just, you've done it. How? You haven't done the research. You didn't have the tools. How?
You haven't been paying attention.
But
look, John, can I call you John? I feel like we're friends now, John.
Please, my master can. You have to come to the potions lounge.
Look, it's not what you're thinking. Like, have you ever seen Voltron? Like, you know how you have the lions and they all come together and they're like, "For blazing sword, Voltron force assemble," right? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Not a clue.
All right, John, first off, get some culture. Second, what I'm trying to say is I'm piloting right now. I'm Mike. This is Terry. I'm in. No,
I get that. That's what I was trying to explain to Terry.
You're making this dirty, John. That's not where I'm trying to go with this. Look, what I'm trying to say is just don't do me wrong on this. You're gonna make me really angry. I need to know I can trust you.
But of
You
course,
already ignore me when I'm floating around your head.
I wasn't ignoring. That's just you're distracting.
Well, yeah, I've been told that before, but you try going through an existence for years on end when people can't see you.
But you've broken the anchors to the flesh. Why does Terry not understand the importance of this research?
Because you
Deep
don't
in the
understand
research.
what you're talking about.
Deep in the recesses of your mind, you hear Terry, wine drunk, slurring, saying, "I understand perfectly well."
Shh, Terry, come on, Terry.
I'm
Look.
sorry.
No, you're drunk. You're drunk. Look, if you want, we'll go out. We'll find some ladies later, but not right now, okay? Anyway, what I was saying is you don't understand what you're talking about. The anchor and the afterlife and the spirit moving from one fleshy bit to another. And oh God, you're making this dirty again. What I'm trying to say is it's not what you think it is, John. In fact, you know what, John? I could show you. Do you want to see what you're actually looking for?
Please.
Are you willing to accept me into your heart, John?
But how can you do this without the stone?
Are you what?
You need the stone.
John, I think the answer is that Mike is a ghost.
He doesn't get it, Mike. He doesn't want to die for it, is the thing.
I think he wants to get stoned.
I mean, yeah, that's the shortcut way.
No,
Do we have any weed or anything, Terry?
What?
Do you?
I'm surprised we have wine.
Well, yeah, that's a good point.
So I'm curious, at this point, does John hear Terry talking, or is Terry now just in Mike's mind?
It's just the one-sided.
Okay.
One-sided.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, it's a reverse of the usual.
Yes, and yes, Carl, since you asked, Mike is a ghost. So, do you accept me into your heart, John? If you're willing, I will show you right now.
I am willing. Everyone of my faction is willing, but how? Without the stone to rebuild the connection.
Well, here's what I need you to do. It's kind of like a ritual. You have to pay close attention to what I'm going to ask you to do right now, okay?
Oh no, Master Miss.
Here's what I need you to do. I need you to get down on your knees, extend both arms out as wide as you can, close your eyes.
Because of the attribute that Terry had placed on John earlier, he actually does do this. He gets on his knees. He puts his arms out, closes his eyes, looks up.
Now I want you to say this with me. Okay, you ready? Repeat after me. Mecca Lecca High.
Mecca Lecca High.
Mecca Heine Ho.
Mecca Heine Ho.
Mecca Lecca High.
Mecca Lecca High.
Mecca Chani Ho.
Mecca Chani Ho.
Harry's
I'm gonna dive into him.
Okay.
Bruh, I'm laughing so
So you're using your aspect for possession, right?
Yeah, but he's willing, so I don't have to force it, right?
Let me take a look.
Welcome back. You missed the greatest prank that a ghost has ever pulled.
Yeah, I'm just over here, trading stocks and speaking multiple languages. Don't mind me, I'm wealthy and fancy. I've been.
You have an important and busy life.
Yes, so of course
That's
I'm not
true.
gonna stand around. Did you think I was just gonna sit here?
You don't have time for these shenanigans.
This has nothing to do with me. That's the main thing. Like, you don't even need me for this conversation, so I'm not in it. I'm just becoming more wealthy. Don't mind me.
Your large day trading.
Yeah, just chatting with some.
So Mike, is that the traveler ability?
No, Traveler's just me moving through like reflective surfaces from one point to another.
Okay, this is under the skin.
I believe
Or
that's what
poltergeist.
Should be under the skin.
When
There
you
it
take
is.
someone out either physically or mentally, you can inhabit their body until evicted by a magical exorcism. Mark all remaining boxes of. All right, so you now have a new body, Mike. You can now interact with the rest of the group as if you were John. John is your new vessel.
Yes.
I will say though, you have until the next day before
To evacuate. No,
right,
that's fine.
because the whole concept of the new day kind of weakening magic, you're not that strong yet.
It's all good. I won't take over
Cannot
him.
maintain indefinite possession.
Right.
Yeah, I won't keep him for very long. So, I'm gonna stretch. Kind of give myself a once over, check the drawers.
That you in there, bud?
Yeah. How do I look?
Stylish.
I'm a stand up. Man, I can't believe he didn't get the Pee Wee Herman reference.
He was a little distracted, you know? You were pulling off like the magic trick that his whole order is founded to achieve. He's still in there, right?
Yeah, John, you're still there, right?
This is amazing.
I'm inside you, John.
I say, yeah. You can probably hear me, John. So I say, that's what it's like.
That's what it's like.
It's just the trick, you know?
Sorry, I'm trying to rearrange cameras since Master dropped again.
It's all good.
Mhm.
So,
Oh, jeez.
you know, I feel like I should. Whoa, that's a big picture of me. I feel like I should take full advantage of this. John, you don't have any aversions to me like taking the old body out for a spin, do you? It's been a while.
No, it's please. I can. This is amazing research.
Don't
Terry,
rough him up.
he's calling it research. This is
he?
awesome. Yeah, like I think I'm gonna go out and drink it. You want to come?
We got the wine right here. Grab yourself a glass of wine.
Oh, dude, hell yeah! Where's Gillard?
Over in the other room. Give me a second. I'm refilling John's glass of wine.
Ooh. I will immediately guzzle the entire glass.
You gotta slow down. Mike. Slow.
Ooh.
Mike, if you don't slow down, you'll vomit that back up.
Well, that's okay. That's okay.
It
Gillard!
ain't fun.
Dude.
Gillard,
I can tell
slightly
you from
drunk.
personal experience, it ain't fun.
Gillard,
And
where'd you go?
and with all these shenanigans, Morgana is going to pour herself another glass, and she's just going to lean back and throw her head back, glass in hand, like she's just done.
It's a party now.
Yeah.
Terry's
Gillard.
slightly drunk and he goes over and he knocks on the door Gillard went through.
Like this has stopped being cute to Morg.
So what I'm really looking forward to at this point is that Terry is intoxicated and is being taken to meet T in a couple of hours.
I think the one drink might have just left him with a headache by then. We'll see, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm shouting, Gillard! Gillard, where are ya?
I can't hear that, right? So I'll have to respond to it because I can't.
You
hear it.
can now.
Yeah,
Right now,
What?
while you were gone,
you missed that, didn't you?
yeah, you hear Gucci Rasputin yelling from the other room.
He took over Gillard's body.
Gillard!
Not Gillard.
Gillard, where are you?
John.
Mike took over John's body.
John's body. Yes. Sorry, that might have been.
I'm like,
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting.
Gillard, where are you?
Terry's at the door knocking, like, slowly. He's trying to get out ahead of this thing and explain.
Gillard!
I guess that's what I get for leaving them with a bottle of wine.
You should have known better.
I'm so glad I did not bring them to my house.
Are you saying this out loud, or are you just thinking it to yourself?
Thinking it
Okay.
to myself.
Have
As
you
I-
come
as
to the
I-
door?
As I glance over at the opposing wall that I know leads to another outlet.
Gillard, I'm coming stomping the direction that Terry went. Bottle in hand.
Shot, but I mean, I designed this hotel, so I know its exits, you know?
Oh no, I'm not chasing you, I'm looking for you.
We're not that much trouble.
Yeah, but I don't know if I want to be bothered at this point, really.
Mike really wants to meet you.
Still gotta get Mike to meet T, so. And I did get my word, so.
Gillard!
It'd be Terry to meet Tease. Just FYI.
Terry.
Gillard!
You take
Mike,
Mike to
Terry.
meet T, that's gonna go way different.
No. Yeah, no.
Gillard!
Uh,
I know you have a convertible. Take me for a ride, please.
And it's just funny because you hear this coming from like this well-groomed hipster.
just reluctantly. using
Which is
the
even
door-
funnier because you
the
have.
doorknob slowly start to turn. And a
Oh.
single eyeball peeks around as the door cracks open a little bit.
Terry's right there, and he's visibly a little tipsy, and he's trying to explain. He's going, now listen, I tried
Mike's-
to explain about Mike. Mike has pulled his favorite party trick, and
The single
That-
eye rolls.
that
I'm
looks
standing,
like John. That's not John, that's Mike.
I'm standing behind Terry, like waving, sloshing wine around. In a bowl.
This is Mike. Mike really would like to meet you. He's a big fan.
Mike/John has just splashed some wine onto your floor.
That's not my floor. Maids will get it. Why do you think,
Gillard.
I brought them to this place? It's not mine. Didn't belong to
Gillard!
me.
Gillard!
Mine. Cleaners
Gillard.
will take care of it, you know?
Gillard! Gillard! Gillard!
That's kind of how the echo voice
well,
I
alright
picture.
then.
Yeah. I know you've got a convertible. Take me for a ride.
Just gonna slowly eke out of the door. Because I know weird things are happening in here and I don't really want to be here, but I have to be.
Let's
so
go
kinda-
dancing. Yeah.
And I tell him, now listen, remember, if you're in somebody else, it doesn't work the same, so you don't get to use my dancing skills.
Looks at Terry. Looks at
We've got a thing. Don't worry about that. That's fine. It's just a thing.
He's a jike. Oh my
Jike.
god.
looks at Terry. Looks at Jake. Looks at Terry. Looks at Mon.
And he says, listen, it's just Mike. He's only going to be here for a little while, being able to talk to everybody. I figured he might want to meet you.
I have this fond dream that you and I are going to be absolute best friends. Let's do this.
How did he get drunk?
I don't know how strong John is with his drink, but I can tell you Mike probably hasn't had a drop his whole life. So
John is now using Mike's constitution.
Oof.
It's called the Speedo effect.
it's fine. As soon as he's out, there won't be any alcohol left in his bloodstream because he won't have any blood anymore.
Let's go for a ride.
Just gonna pinch the bridge of my nose and be like, "Did you mean placebo?"
Yeah, that's what I said. Flaspido.
So while this is going on,
Why?
you guys actually start hearing a knock at the hotel room door.
Oh no.
And we're going to take a quick break.
Yes, that's a good time.
Good plan indeed.
All right, so I'm going to go to our BRB screen and we're going to take a bio. It'll be about 5-10 minute break. People can grab their drinks, their teas, and we'll be back shortly.
Be back.
All right, we're on the break screen. Unmute all of this music. And we are
I've got a
back.
body.
So you guys are kind of going back and forth. Mike is drunk, slurring words. And as you're kind of trying to figure out what the hell's going on, you just hear from the front of the apartment a strong...
I look back and forth to Gillard.
Yeah. Alright. Across the room. To go to the door. Takes me a second because I'm not walking quickly.
I'm
Rolling
dotingly
my eyes.
following behind, just spot you,
Rolling
best
my
friend.
eyes. I can hear you now. This is so creepy.
We're gonna have so much fun together.
Morgana is following their every movement with her eyes,
Creeped out.
watching for trouble.
I open the door.
You open the door and you find this older gentleman, say about 60 years old, a little bit on the shorter side, balding at the top, but very well dressed. A perfectly formed gray suit, a teal Oxford underneath, a bow tie that's speckled brown and pink, and it's George.
George, my good man, how are you?
I have never been challenged so much in my life. And he holds up the suit. It's an atrocity.
I do apologize. He does not have taste.
Who would order such an abomination?
Terry's
Someone who
waving.
won't be bothering you again, hopefully. This is a one-time deal.
Terry's very polite, actually. He comes up and he says, I apologize very deeply for any inconvenience you may have been put to.
It burns the eyes.
I've been told I have the same effect on people.
I hand him an envelope that's quite plump, and I say, "For your trouble, and for your poor eyes," and just hand him some cash.
I appreciate it. Well, let's get the poor bastard in this thing and make any alterations that's needed.
I'm gonna go sit down.
Yeah, I'm the poor bastard.
George.
He goes and he grabs Terry, just kind of interlocks his elbows with Terry and looks at Gillard and says, "What room can we do this in?"
Rather than tell him that, I just point to one of the rooms in this suite.
So George kind of just tugs on Terry's arm, and you're surprised for an older man. He just charges along, dragging you with, trying this tuxedo. About 5-10 minutes go by. You hear some swearing from the back room. The door opens, and Terry enters the main room in his. Describe to the room what your suit looks like.
Check Discord, Chance. Your message.
If you weren't there for the commission of the suit and knew it to be of only the finest quality materials, you would swear it is polyester. Some suits make statements. They say them quietly, if they're a nice, subtle gray, very traditional styling. They might even say them boldly. Very modernist take with the Indian collar, a bright white, If you go to a fashion show, they may say them with a glorious song, something artistic. This suit screams drunkenly from the street corner. And it says, I am very purple. I am more purple than you, you rat bastard. Why aren't you purple like I am?
That's fantastic. Because you have no idea how well this is actually going to blend with what I have prepared. So you're like, it's like gaudy purple.
It's shocking. You would not have expected such a color exists. The lapel feels like it's wider than Terry's chest. He is a quite skinny fellow. Is it an improvement over his raggedy, torn, dirtied, bloodied clothes? Who can say, really?
All right. So Terry is ready to go. George walks out, gets halfway to the door, looks back, and goes, and just kind of walks out the door, shuts it behind him.
He's starting to recover very slightly. He says, you know, this is very comfortable.
Should I get
I'm
one?
invisibly cringe.
Should I get one?
You have
Maybe I should
one.
get a matching one.
So what
You
is...
can have a matching one anytime you want as soon as you're out of John.
John actually looks more stylish than Terry at this point. So what is Gillard wearing to the meeting?
Well, I'm already wearing a suit, so I'm just gonna take this tie and put it on. I don't really need to get dressed up.
So Morgana probably sees Gillard tying a tie, so she's going to be like, Terry, can you come over here for a second? And I beckon him to a corner to talk to him.
Terry
Just the color of that is giving me a headache. I can't.
ambles over, kind of like he's starting to feel himself a little bit now that he's got nicer duds than he's had in a while.
Since I'm not really used to being corporeal, I'm just gonna like hover over his shoulder and follow him and just gonna.
Hey, Mike, you go over there too.
Personal space.
This is between me and Terry, real quick.
The whole
Mike is the thorn in my side. He is. It's no use keeping secrets from him, really, quite frankly.
This isn't a secret that's gonna be kept from Mike. Trust me.
That's cool.
That's right. That's
I'll go
right.
hang
Mike,
out
you've
with
got a guest.
my new friend. I got a new best friend. Gillard, let's chat.
Listen.
so loud. It's so loud. I can't.
So
Invisibly
after-
better.
after the two of us are alone now, like in a corner, I say, listen, kid, I've only known you for today, but from what you said whenever you pulled out that key, and what John's told me whenever he entered into my shop, it seems like whatever was chasing you that led you into my shop, I think that they may want that key. Now, I can't be there to hide you whenever you're at this dinner. I can't follow along. So, would you be okay if I held on to that key while you're at that dinner? I only say this for your safety. You can come back to the shop and I'll give it right back whenever you're done.
Terry rubs the pocket, the interior shirt pocket of his new shirt. He's transferred the key, obviously. I should ask out of character, are you trying to persuade Terry, or do you just want his natural response? How much are you putting in?
Natural response, I would, like Morgana would hope that, you know, the sort of piecing together the facts from the day and, like, you know, the stressful situation that went on would be enough to like, convince Terry. Like, she wants to, like, put across that she's only looking after Terry's safety.
Oh, you have so much faith in Terry's rationality, which is not a concept that really exists for him. Terry, he pats the key and he says, I really do appreciate your concern for me, and I hope I see you again after this meeting. I only have so many friends here in the city, but God left this key in my possession, and I feel it's best that I keep it. If I just wanted it to be safe, I could have given it to John. I'm sure he'd spirit it away as fast as he could. But
I don't know if I trusted with John either, considering they killed one of his comrades. And that's who you took that key off of.
They're probably a little more careful after the first one. But you don't have to worry too bad about me. God's on my side, after all.
Well, kid, I hope they just don't kill you over it, but from what I've heard from you, I don't assume that'd be a bad thing in your eyes.
We will all live our allotted time and then pass on to something better than this place.
Stand a little less close to me, please. Just back up a bit.
Well, that's all I had to say, kid.
Again, I do appreciate it, and I hope I'll see you around.
I think this is turning into a physical struggle at this point.
Would you
Just let me hold you.
personal space? Breathe.
Terry walks quickly over there and says, Mike, people don't like that when you can feel it. Well, sometimes they do, but it's disturbing.
Oh. But, Gillard, we're friends. We're best friends.
Are we?
We're like siblings.
No, I'm an only child.
Well, not anymore. Let's go for a spin in your Ferrari.
Mike, we gotta go to dinner. Mike. You should let John get on about his business.
You mean, do I have to get out?
I mean, at some point, definitely. I'm just thinking it might be better to do it now so he can make a good way home.
Hands are clammy.
Mike, I would say that this is your first time in another body in a while, and you're kind of reluctant to give it up so easily.
Oh, very. Very reluctant. I'm trying to experience everything I can. And honestly, the thought of dinner. Yeah, let's go eat. You know how long it's been since I've eaten? Terry, do you remember the last time I had a steak? Was the night I died.
Yeah.
Let's go get
Yeah.
some
You
steak.
can't go. You can't go.
What?
I mean, you see what Gillard's saying.
No.
Terry's using Gillard as a shield here because he knows he would be guilted into it instantly.
Nope. There's
I
a
can't-
code and this purple
You mean I can't
suit.
have a steak?
No.
But
We'll save you some of my steak, Mike.
you don't understand. You know how long it's been since I had a steak.
Hey, Mike,
Could you please just get off of me?
Mike.
Yeah.
At this point, you hear John kind of talking to you and say, "Just get an Uber."
What's an Uber?
You just in my right pocket. There's a phone. Put your thumb on the front of the phone.
I reach in and like.
Just like that. Yeah. Now, at the bottom, there's a little black circle. Just put your thumb. There you go. There. Yeah. No.
Where are the buttons?
Right. That's.
This is nothing like my old Nokia. Where's the antenna?
Press. There's a button on the right hand side. Press the button. Press the
Watching this
goddamn button.
struggle. This is hilarious.
What does this do?
Oh,
Does
no.
your phone have a stylus?
Who gave him that? Did the antenna come out? Wow.
I think I broke it.
Wow.
So yeah, there's was just, jeez, god damn it.
What's tender?
That's
No.
just leave that alone. Well,
No one told the child what the
He's alright, guys.
she's,
I gotta get out of here.
if Miranda,
Can't come to dinner.
if you get a
You know what,
message from
this-
Miranda, just ignore that. There's
This might be a good compromise, actually. I think I see what's going on here. John, I know you can hear me. I don't think I can trust Mike to tell me what you say, but
I am wounded.
Does that mean you'll get away from me finally? Because
I am
But-
extra wounded. Can somebody tell me what an Uber is?
but if you want to go out for, you know, a research night on the town, it's, you know, I know it's a rare opportunity. You seem to be getting along pretty well.
You know what? I'll just walk. I'm good. I'm gonna turn around and immediately walk face first into the door because I forgot I can't walk through it.
I'm like, Mike, no, that doesn't work.
Ow! Sorry.
give the phone to the one with the big hair.
Which one's got big hair?
It's-
They've all got big hair.
More.
yes.
The woman. Give it to the woman.
Well, I don't know. She gonna appreciate you calling her the woman, John. But here.
All right, what do I need to do, John?
He wants you to Uber me.
Oh,
Giggity.
I then swipe over to Uber, and I open up the app, and I hold up the screen and hold it in front of John's face, or Mike's face. Yikes. Face.
There's a little car on it.
Yes. Go to the Casino Element.
Casino LEMNAN.
I would like to point out that I still have the phone, so I will like type that in
Thank
for
you.
him.
So at the Mike's, you hear what he's trying to spell, and you're just,
I'm just
you
like, oh yeah.
autocorrect it.
No, I
You
think I
probably know
know
the
what
place.
Mike's trying to spell out because I mean I'm New Orleans native, lived there my entire life. That's Morgana.
So, what is this gonna do? John, do you have rocket boots or something? How?
All right, Mike. What you're gonna do is watch this screen, and you'll get a notification whenever your car has arrived at a drop-off point, and someone will come and pick you up.
What's your name? What's your name again? You,
Mike.
Mike. Bring her with. I feel it's in our best interest. I don't want to die.
I don't think she's into us, John.
Wait, not like that. Just ask her to chaperone.
Chaperone.
I was
That's a
going to
great
offer to
idea.
come with you anyways.
Thank goodness there is a God.
Why does everybody think I need a babysitter? What am I gonna do?
That's exactly my concern. Is what are you going to do? I still have to live with this body.
Mike.
Trust me.
Mike.
What? What?
I hope you have a good time. Be careful with John's body. Listen to these two, and I'm pointing at the body he's literally inhabiting, so it looks like I'm pointing at him, and then I also point at Morgana. Listen to them. They know what's up.
I will be a picture of reserved care and concern. I'm going to turn around once again and walk into the door. Oh!
No, that doesn't work.
Sorry. Ow. It's been a while, John. I'm sorry.
I take the phone back from him at this point. I can just watch for the notification for the Uber.
I go back over to Jallard. I say, well, I guess we're clear.
Terry,
Yeah, Mike?
don't die.
I'll do my level best, but again, you know me, Mike. God's on my side.
Yeah, God was on my side too. Don't die.
Offer's still up, Terry.
Don't worry about that. And then he turns back to Jallard.
All right. Turn around and walk out the door this time.
Yeah, I'm going to lead with the phone in my hand where the pickup location is.
Okay.
And I'm going to lead Mike and John. Mike in John's body.
Okay.
To the
So
point.
you guys separate from the group at this point, and you're gonna take the Uber to the destination. You're gonna make it there pretty much unhindered, other than Mike trying to just oogle and comment and want to jump out of a moving car everywhere.
All I want to know, and this is the only important thing I'm going to ask, does the Uber have a skylight? Like, is there a moonroof?
No,
I'm going to be a little disappointed.
there's not.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, it could be a Gen 3 Prius, like the the Model 4, because I mean, my Prius has a moonroof.
Who says
But-
they're going to the same place I am?
Who?
They're going to the
You guys.
Casino Elamant. You're not going to the
That's-
Casino Elamant.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I just want to make sure. 'Cause-
He's just going for a steak.
Just wanted to make sure.
Good. Yeah. Okay. Because that'll ruin everything.
So what's the rest of the group doing?
Well, we're going just gambling.
Are we the rest
eating.
of the group?
They're probably...
Yeah, we're cutscening since you've separated the party. We're cutscening from you and Morgana to Terry and Jallard.
Just call my driver. We'll hop in the car. We'll go to a much higher.
So the restaurant you're going to be heading to is called the Eclipsed Charm Chop House.
Okay.
As we travel there,
Reservations, right? Like.
Yep.
of course. As we travel there, you notice that Terry is just... You've only seen him for a little bit, and some of it was under substantial duress, but Terry is remarkably just still and calm.
While riding in the car.
While riding in the car, while standing in the apartment before we leave, this is the first time he has been
Alone.
kind of alone. Jallard's around, obviously, but that's a different kind of company. In 4 or 5 years.
It's like really quiet in your head,
continuously.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we're going to say you also get into the car, you make it through New Orleans, and you're other than traffic, you're unhindered in making it to the Eclipse Charm Chop House. You pull up to the chop house. Your driver drops you off into the front, and you get out. You have a kind of a personal escort who takes you to the front, to the maitre d'. You give your name, and you're instantly the major, or let me do it this way. The maitre d', thank you, welcome. And your name? Reservations?
Two for Smythe.
Smythe. Oh. Are you eating with, what, eating? Yeah, are you eating with Sir Robisaur?
If that's tea, I am.
Yes, tea, I'm sorry. Yes, this way. And give me a second to change the music. Because we've moved from your place to a restaurant. And I want something a little more suiting. Did I close that window? I did not. Let's see, does Serenescape have a chop house sound, you think?
Chop house specifically.
Yeah, I'm curious. Is there a chop house song on Serenescape? Nope. What about Steakhouse? Sorry, I'm ruining the immersion, but this is how the sausage is made.
I mean, unless you want the sounds of a butcher, I would say maybe
manage
go
restaurant.
for restaurant. Yeah, restaurant's probably the easier choice.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. You know what? We'll go with this. We're gonna stop that sound set. We're gonna go with a pianist. That sounds like it would be fitting, right?
For some reason, I'm just picturing Terry actually getting a little antsy at the silence.
Surprisingly, no. His hand does go to his side occasionally, which is where he always envisions his attachment to Mike as being, is right there in the side. It's a strange sensation, you being at basically crosstown from each other.
Yeah.
All right, so Gillard and Terry make their way through the chop house. So to get where the maitre d' is leading you, you cut through kind of the main dining area back to these two, what I believe are French doors. They're two double glass paned doors that open up, and there's curtains on the doors. And as the room opens up, it opens into this private room with a circular table, and you find T sitting at the table in this well-made purple suit. This purple suit, this purple suit is made of such fine quality that depending on the angle that you are facing and how the light hits it, the color changes from a hint of purple to this bluish pink that catches the eye. And he's wearing a pink dress shirt underneath with a purple striped tie. He stands up. Gillard, you've made it. Who's your guest?
Introductions. Sir Robeson, this is Terry. Terry, this is Sir Robeson. Quite interested in your work. Wanted me to set up a meeting. There you go.
Terry, you can call me T, bruh. And he shakes your hand, and he does this. It's not a normal handshake. It's more it's reminiscent of a street handshake.
Ah, well, my flair is quite high. Let's see if Terry can pull it off.
There you go. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Hey!
Immaculate.
Do I need to roll for anything for the introduction?
No, you don't.
Good.
No, you don't. Terry, not only do you keep up with T in the handshake, you actually add a couple of moves. So where he would normally stop with to do a dab, you do this hand slide off of his, and then you do a snap and point to him. And he's impressed. He's like, all right, bro, you got swagger.
Terry does a little dip of the head. puts his arm across as if it's a tiny bow, and then he takes his seat to continue the meeting.
Did Terry just dab?
Not a dab, not a dab. He's a preacher. A preacher does not dab. He gave a little bow, almost a courtly one, and then he sat.
Okay. So you make it. Everyone makes their way to the table. The servers come around. They take orders, and he looks over at Gillard and says, "So, please tell me you found it."
I found him.
Yeah, side note, T was, if I remember right, T was asking for Gillard to essentially find Terry, so.
He did.
So I don't know what he's talking about.
Are you asking that?
No,
It was a
character
slip of the
I should
tongue that
know.
T made I made on purpose as part of the conversation.
Made on behalf of
Oh,
T.
gotcha.
What? Gillard is confused. Somewhere between the loudness of this shirt and the weirdness of this meeting, I'm just like, what?
You found you found him, right? This is him. This is who.
Yeah.
How can I know for sure? Where were you?
You had a video. What do you
Right,
mean?
but it was grainy. It was evening.
You couldn't send that to a restorer? What?
T, I gotta ask, what can I interest you in? You've gone to some trouble, and found somebody who's, I would have guessed, much harder to get a hold of than I am to set this up. What can I do for you, T?
Image specialist.
By-
Had it
by
sharp,
chance-
Why wouldn't we do that?
By chance, were you outside of an auction house the other week where there was a grisly murder?
I recall it quite well. Yeah, I was right there.
You see, there was an acquaintance of mine who happened to just meet an ill fate, and I was hoping you could help me with a predicament. Were you the person in the footage? Did you get a chance to hear my comrade's final words?
I'm afraid he went pretty fast. I'm sorry for the loss of your friend. He was trying to say something, but I guess it was a poison that she got him with. And whatever it was he was carrying, she made off with rapidly.
Did you, by chance, did he give you anything?
He did. He couldn't say anything. He couldn't speak, but he wanted me to take his bag. And I did take his bag, but I mean, I gave it to the cops shortly afterwards. If you wish to reclaim his possessions, it might be best to get through them.
Yeah, with that, you see him kind of just lean back. Me and the police we don't exactly see eye to eye. When he gave it to you, did you have a chance to? Was there anything in it?
He had his computer. He had a nice iPad, just the sort of things a working man might carry in his briefcase. But I must say, T, you're not the first person to be interested in that day in that box. That man. I've met someone else who says they were a friend of his.
Who?
You familiar at all with the Order of Saint Gerard?
I have no idea who the hell that is. What can you tell me about these people?
Terry looks at T and contemplates for a moment. so we obviously don't have insight checks here. That's not something we do. But Terry is deep down curious right now. So John and T have both claimed to know the man. John through his organization. T just hasn't explained how exactly yet he knew him. But it seems they were deeply involved in some esoteric activity. So I would like...
And you could do it like an intellect check.
Something like that.
Yeah, go ahead and roll intellect.
There you
go. You could pick up just on T's mannerisms that he may not be entirely on the up and up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't get the sense that he's... What's that? What's that, Master?
I cannot resist the bread here.
Jalard's just having a good-ass time.
You don't get the sense that he's necessarily malicious, but there's something off. And with that, you actually, as you're having this conversation, you hear the door swing open, and you actually see this portly guy kind of come stomping in. He looks like he's an older gentleman in his 50s, wearing khaki pants, a dress shirt that he probably picked up at Goodwill, has a coffee stain on it, seems somewhat intoxicated, and he kind of comes stumbling in, and he's like, T, you're having a party and didn't invite me? What's going on, T? And he kind of comes, and as he walks over, he grabs like a spare chair that was in the corner and just kind of drags it over to the table, pulls it up to the table, plops himself down, and throws his feet up onto the table. Looks at T, says, T, who's your friend? Why aren't you introducing me?
Oh, the bread is ruined now.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Terry's
sir.
pulled back his bread safely.
I'm Fred, and he reaches over, and he looks like he's gonna go shake your hand, but instead he grabs a loaf of like a just small piece of bread and just kind of bites off, and he goes, "What's your name?" He talks with his mouth while he's chewing.
How did he get in here with the dress?
Is he addressing Terry or Jallard?
Jallard.
This is insane.
T looks a little irritated at this point, and he kind of snaps over to some of his bodyguards who come over, and Fred kind of looks at him and goes, T, we've been through this before. I'm sorry, sir. What? I don't think. Yeah, I know. T interrupted us. He's kind of a jagoff like that. What's your name?
So uncouth.
I've been called a lot of
Jallard's
things.
one of those self-talkers.
Gotcha. So you sir, what's your name? My name's Frank.
Terry.
Terry, nice to meet you. You seem much more friendly. You see my boy T here. He's a nice guy, but he's not the most approachable.
What have I gotten myself into?
I look over at T, who's... I'm curious at what sort of look is on T's face right now, honestly. This doesn't seem at all to be the look he was going for.
No, T's extremely irritated at this point, but he's reluctant to have this guy dragged out kicking and screaming, and you're not quite sure why.
I say, he's been a nice guy so far. He went to all this trouble to meet me.
Well, yeah, and there's T doesn't do anything unless there's something in it for him. Isn't that right, T? And he kind of leans back in the chair and elbows T in the shoulder. And he goes, Frank. Jesus, man. What is it going to take to get you out of here? And Frank kind of looks at me and goes, well, I just want to know who your friends are. I met Terry. Who's Who's this suave gentleman over here? I haven't seen him around before. But he does look a little familiar. Have you been around the 5th precinct before? Looks at Gillard.
I'm just working
Yep.
on another breadstick over here, that's all.
Man, your friend's talkative, isn't he? T. So what's the special occasion? I thought we had a thing. I thought you were supposed to let me know. I'll tell you what. In the past 2 weeks, there's been some weird stuff going on, and here I find out. I'm told that you have your boys in force, kind of all over the city, searching for something. What's going on, T?
Someone. That's amazing.
Right. I know. See, T? That's amazing. And T's just like tight-lipped at this point. And so, sir, what do you think's so amazing about that?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it.
I know this
guy,
man, the fleet of black Escalades that this guy has. Let me tell you, they're all over the place. He's just tearing up the town. It's like they're searching for someone. Have you seen any of this?
That's weird.
Yeah. I mean,
Large vehicle tough to maneuver in these streets.
I know, right, T? Did you hear that? Tough maneuver in these streets. What do you...
Something a little bit slimmer, but
Right, I know.
right?
You know, and I apologize for interrupting. You see me and Matilda, and he points out through the doors. And we were here for dinner, and we were just passing by. And I was like, you know, my boy T, he's got a room back here. I bet T's here. You got to meet T. And he kind of points out the door, and you see what I could probably describe as a mix between Fran Dresser meets Jersey Shore. And this woman with like this big hair just kind of stands up and she's Frank, sweetie, is that T? Oh, he's so handsome.
Terry is like deeply fascinated by this man. Does he have anything about him that's really remarkable or identifiable besides the fact that he's in this place dressed the way he is and nobody stopped him?
You kind of look him over?
Oh yeah, very like attentively.
You actually notice what I would describe inside his front right pocket, since his legs are up on the table, where his wallet would be. You see the imprint of a star on a wallet.
What's going on?
Is it the sort of traditional to the area law enforcement badge, or is it something a little more esoteric?
It looks to be like a law enforcement badge.
Okay. Terry looks and looks.
You looking
back
at something
and
on there,
forth.
fella?
You just cut such an incredible figure. I had to remember it for later.
I've heard you're a flatterer, aren't you? So, do you know what? It's strange. T's got this group of just his fine gentlemen sweeping the streets. The next thing I hear, he's hosting a private party. I wasn't invited. I'm feeling a little left out.
Perhaps because he wasn't hosting and I'm hosting.
You're hosting it. I don't even know your name. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt your party. What's your name again? I have to make amends. How do I write an I'm sorry card without knowing the name of who to write it to?
You could write your card by stepping away from this table and getting out of here.
I'm sorry, sir. I thought we were all friends here. Apparently not. I got my boy T here. We got Terry here. We're all chatting it up. You're just. I understand you're probably frustrated. I crashed your party. I didn't know it was your party again. I'm so sorry. I was just here to see T, my boy T. I mean, he just.
I would very much appreciate it if you would leave, please.
All right, I can, and I'll definitely. And you know what? Let me pick up the tab. Not just for taxes and for.
It's not necessary.
You sure? I'll be happy to write up. Just I'm gonna have to. What?
Please,
You sure?
please.
All right. Well, I apologize. He sticks his hands out to shake your hand.
In spite of the encroaching claiminess, I shake.
I appreciate it. He shakes your hand and he grabs another chunk of bread, a couple of breadsticks, sticks them in his pocket, and starts chewing one. He's like, T, I'll catch you later, bro. I'll catch you later. We'll catch up. And you, Terry, it was a pleasure, man. You seem like a stand-up guy. I don't know about you, but hopefully we won't meet again. But if we do, I'll get your name then. And then he just kind of walks out. And as he walks out, you hear just Matilda out there. She's like, oh, he's so handsome.
As he leaves, I look back at T. And I say, man, you got some odd cops in this town. I've been a few places. I've seen how it's handled here and there, but you don't get anything like that outside of New Orleans, I bet you.
T just kind of looks at you. He's the biggest pain in my ass. But let me tell you, if I would have had my boys drag him out here, he would have hooted and hollered and screamed. It would have made such... It wouldn't have been good for business. It honestly wouldn't have. It would have made a big scene. Cops probably would have been called. He's the kind of thorn in your side you just kind of deal with until it works its way out. But I apologize.
I know the feel.
So with that, we're actually going to cut back over to Church and Morgana.
So we made it to the casino successfully?
You did.
How much money does John have in his wallet?
Oh no.
What? He's got like $25.
Does he have a credit card?
He doesn't, but he has a debit card.
Ooh. John, I'm gonna need to borrow a little money. Is that okay? Thanks. I'm gonna walk over to the ATM.
No, I don't.
What's your PIN?
How do you know what a pin is?
I'm not stupid. I'm dead.
It's. I really
Mike,
don't wanna...
leave the man his money.
Well, I'm just asking to borrow. I'll pay it back.
Can you?
Sure.
Does
Didn't
John
Terry tell
want
you
to-
I'm independently wealthy?
I don't recall hearing that, and from looking at Terry, I would not assume.
Oh, Terry's like a multi-millionaire. Don't let him fool you. Come on, just $50. $50.
Terry's rich in spirit.
Only if John's okay with you borrowing the money, Mike.
Mike,
John?
It's his money after all.
I want you to actually roll to try and persuade him. How do you want to do that?
Oh, I think.
It could be
For
either a
Mike-
guile or a flair.
Oh, guile for sure.
Two. Terry just kind of reluctantly, he's like, all
John.
right. All right, yeah. John.
He's so used to Terry.
Yeah. John's like, it's 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3. Really? You're awesome, John. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It goes through, and you bring up the screen. You take out cash. You see
I'm
he
gonna-
has
I'm
he has
gonna
about
look up
$3
at the
grand in his
ceiling.
account.
I'm gonna look up at the ceiling and type in 150.
You get 150 bucks out.
Let's play. I'm gonna sit down at the first blackjack table I see, and do the whole like.
So you have this server come over in a bustier, and like you went to, actually it's a really fine casino. It's like an upper class casino. The table you sit at, you're not playing like nickel blackjack. The initial buy-in is like, I don't play blackjack much. What is it, $100? $100 buy-in.
That would
Is
be
that-
a
is
very
that-
high table.
is that
but
considered
is
a high
something that you
table?
can-
That's
That would be a
extremely.
high table.
That's like a high roller table.
Yeah.
All right, so let's dial it down. 50.
50.
50.
would
Let's
be
go.
pretty high.
Yeah,
It's still pretty high.
we're gonna go with 50.
All right, so I'll slap a 50 on the table, and I'm gonna kind of lech the cocktail waitress a little bit as I ask for a whiskey and coke.
She goes to get you a drink. The table blackjack dealer takes your money, gives you. Do you give him the full, or the dealer the whole 150, or just the 50?
No, I just buy in with the 50.
All right. We can't take cash. We have to give you chips. It's house rules.
Like, well, give me the lays then.
Okay. So he goes and he gives you, he gives you just a chip of 50.
Morgana's just standing in the back watching this whole thing and just like kind of shaking her head with a slight smile on her face.
Morgana, you gonna play?
No.
Too rich
She's
for your
smarter
blood.
than that.
For the money.
So we're gonna do this. I'm gonna pull up a random card generator.
Oh,
We're gonna do some blackjack in real time.
Oh damn.
here it
Oh,
goes.
shit.
Here we go. We're going all out.
24/7 blackjack.
This should be interesting.
All right. So you're gonna place your bet. We're in a deal.
All right.
Church, you have a 2 and a 5. The dealer has an 8.
Hit me.
Dealer goes, flips a card. You get a queen. You have a queen, a 5, and a 2.
I'll stay.
You stay. Dealer wins with a 19. Ooh, tough breaks.
Give
And
me
then
another.
then he goes and he pays out to the 2 people to the left of you.
Give me another. Let's do this again. Let's slap
So-
another 50.
Leo takes the cash, deals another hand of cards to everyone. You end up with a 6 and a 5. Dealer has a 3.
Hit me.
Dealer goes, burns a card, flips a card. You end up with a queen. You got 21. You just won $100.
The greatest day of Mike's life.
Yeah. Let's go again. Actually, let me slam my drink.
So you're starting to feel the drink a little bit. Do you get another?
Oh, of course.
Morgana, you just watching at this point?
I'm just watching at this point until things start to go terribly wrong. She will intervene.
Okay.
She's watching closely.
So what are you gonna do, Mike?
Once my other drink, I'll buy another. Let's do another round.
A 50?
Uh-huh.
All right. You end up with a 2 and a 3. Dealer has a 9.
Hit me.
You have an 8, so you're at 13.
Hit me.
5, you're at 18. Dealer has a 9.
I'll stay. I'll stay.
You stay. Dealer ends up with 22. You want another 50.
Or 100.
That's because I had 100 chipped down accidentally.
Well, I bet 50.
Oh,
He bet.
oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. You're right.
So I'm actually up now.
You're right. You are up. So what do you?
All right.
You bid again?
We'll go one more. I'm
All
gonna
right.
put 100 on this.
You put 100 on this one?
Yeah.
You got blackjack.
All
So you got 150.
right. So let's go dancing.
So you have 350 bucks. You're up.
Let's go dancing.
So you
Come-
make you make your way through the casino, and as you're making your way through a casino, you actually start to walk through more of the high dealer area, and you see a sign for like different restaurants. Like I'm picturing like a Caesar's Palace type place, and one of the signs actually lists the name
Is
of
that
a
the Roof Chris
restaurant. No, you see a sign pointing to the Eclipse Charm Chop House.
Chop House? That's a steak. Steak Morgana. Steak. I want a steak. Let's get a steak.
All right. We can go get steak if you want steak. I
Yes.
suppose you won John some money, clearly.
I'm buying.
So you guys, you go to the steakhouse, you go to the maitre d'. Maitre d' looks at you and says, I'm welcome to the Eclipse Charm Chop House. Do you have a reservation?
I'm gonna slide a $5 bill across the stand there and be like, "Give me your best table."
We're at capacity.
I'll slide another
it'll be
5.
It'll be a 30-minute wait.
We'll wait the 30 minutes. We don't have a reservation. Please pardon my friend here.
Can I go sit at the bar while we wait?
But of course.
I'll snag my $10 back and say thank you.
So you go, you make your way to the bar. Morgana, do you go with?
Yeah, I'm going with, and I just like get the maitre d' a small shrug as I'm following behind Mike and John.
So you guys, you work your way up to the bar where there's a couple of seats, and what do you order? Both of you drinking? Is Mike just drinking?
Morgana's had 2 glasses of wine. I don't think she's gonna drink anymore because she has to keep a watch on Mike.
But Mike's not terribly familiar with the world of drinking, so he's gonna order a sex on the beach just because of the name. He has no idea what's in it.
So this guy is sitting there he's standing at the bar next to what you assume is his girlfriend, and he turns around to you and he goes, that's a pretty brave drink for a man. And he looks over and isn't that right, Matilda? Yeah, and you just ordered a sex on the beach the other day, didn't you?
Well, you know, I've never actually had sex on the beach. I figure I may as well try it while I'm here.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And he kind of helps.
Oh no, Mike has found his kindred spirit.
My name's Frank. What's your name, fella?
I'm Mike. I'm Jike.
That's an interesting name. What nationality is that?
Morgana rubs her forehead.
It's Swolish.
Swolish. All right. Is this?
Holy
Well,
fuck.
I'm Frank. This is Matilda. Is this your lady friend here?
This is my good buddy Morgana.
Morgana, it's a pleasure. He reaches out his hand.
Morgana reaches out her hand and takes it.
He kisses your kind of the top of your hand.
She's really nice, but she's not terribly romantic.
You don't have to be romantic to show appreciation. Isn't that right, Matilda? She goes, oh, that's right, Frank. She would T back there. He doesn't look like romantic, but let me tell you, I would trade you in for him any day.
You say T?
Yeah.
His name is T?
I'm pretty sure it's a nickname. Yeah, sweetie, it's a nickname.
That's a silly name.
You know, if his last name was Man, he would be like T-Man, the master of the universe.
And Matilda's she starts laughing ridiculous, but she has like this really obnoxious laugh. It's kind of like nails on a chalkboard to everyone.
Oh, Mike's just having a field day. He's a little buzzed at this point, too.
At this point, like enough wine is probably out of Morgana's system by now that she's going to order gin and tonic.
So as the server's making your drink, he slides the drink to Morgana. Morgana, as you're about to take a sip of the drink, the lights to the restaurant in the casino go out. It goes from being a lively casino where you hear the chiming of slot machines, the dealing of cards, people talking at tables, to this eerie silence. The main lights are out. There haven't been any generators that have kicked on. It's eerily pitch black.
Is this both
What
of us
the
seeing
hell?
this, or just her?
Everyone, like you start to hear some people like murmuring back and forth, like what's going on, and that's where we're gonna end it for this week.
Can I do one thing before
Maybe.
we end? Just give me one moment of silence for a second, just real quick. What are you guys doing?
And that's where we'll end it for the week.
I know there's a hurricane out in the Pacific, but it's not supposed to be hitting yet.
Oh man.
I mean the Atlantic, the Gulf. My brain.
Close enough.
Okay, yeah.
Close enough.
Brain cannot brain right now.
It's all attached.
And we'll see if Shewn will join us next week. But actually, I shouldn't assume. Does everyone want to do another session next week?
Hell yes.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't think
put
you
some
even
things
need to
here.
ask Master Miss. This is just an assumed thing.
So I want to ask, what did everyone like? What didn't you like? I know this wasn't a combat focused session. We haven't had many of those. Are you okay with that?
This is one of Mike's most successful sessions yet.
Mike has a body.
I got to gamble. I got to drink. I got to flirt. I got to take over a body. I got to hug my best friend. Chillard is my best friend.
I think everybody's had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've always loved the Dresden sessions because it's just like, I don't know, I feel like I get to role play a lot and I love playing Morgana's character. So it's like, I always have a lot of fun in these sessions.
Okay.
And I felt like I got to do a lot this session, so you know.
Gillard, Master, you didn't talk a lot this session. Was that just the nature of the things, or were you okay with how the session ran?
I think that's just Gillard's character.
Okay, I wanted to ask. I want to give everyone a chance to kind of shine.
Gillard's character and probably some tech issues too.
Yeah. I kind of like Gillard is so aloof to the point where he barely recognizes everyone else in the room other than being an annoyance.
Right. And Frank was made to be an annoyance.
Oh yeah. But it makes the relationship between Gillard and Mike, especially with Mike in a body, so perfect. Because Mike is an obnoxious, clingy child, and Gillard is like the penultimate opposite of that.
All right, so I will spend some time over the next week planning our next session for next week. If you haven't picked up on it, there is a good chance there's going to be some combat.
Oh yes, of course.
I've considered it, yeah.
Oh no, somebody might shoot me.
Or worse.
John might be concerned.
John probably should be.
All right. So I'm going to switch the screen over to ending. I just want to kind of thank anyone who tuned in tonight. Dresden Files, we're just getting started into the back of it. I think I'm going to play around with the overlay a little bit based on what I'm going to continue to call him Carl because he hasn't corrected me yet. He brought up a good point that he didn't know you were a spirit, and I could see new viewers kind of being confused by that. So I'm going to make part of the overlay some information about possibly each character background slightly.
We could hero forge out the tunes for everybody like we have been in the other sessions.
Yeah, or I could draw character avatars for everyone. Already have Morgana.
That would be amazing.
That would be really good. Because I like the
and
avatars.
then we'd get to workshop Terry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I actually just want to see your visual representation of Mike. I would be happy with however you picture him. I like your style enough that I have no doubt you'll capture it perfect.
Well, thank you.
The way